So I wasn't sure if I was actually going to talk about this today, but this news article came out, and I just felt now more than ever, this is a time to talk about the subject, and that is the subject that we are in an industry that is changing rather quickly. So today I'm going to be talking about one of the main articles that came out about a major camera rental company is closing down, as well as talking about studios moving out of the United States into other countries. What does this all mean for us as filmmakers? And what should we do to prepare for it going forward to continue thriving in this business? All that and more in today's video. What's going on, everybody? My name is James Jackson. If you're new here, I do tips, tricks, news, and reviews for the film and video making industry. So if this is content that you like, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and hit those likes to combat the algorithm so we can continue pushing out more content. This is a rough time period in the film industry. We've had things quite slow ever since the start of the pandemic, but there was just a lot of other effects that came out. The writers and actors strike that came out in 2023 sort of set this situation up as well. Don't get it twisted. I stand full solidarity in everything about these strikes and making sure that the workers get paid and paid appropriately. And then after the writer's strike, we then had, the changing of a presidential administration with a very different policy that has, let's just say, not been a benefactor to our industry. And again, we'll get all that today. Just going in from more of a personal standpoint for me, it has been slower a little bit than usual. I still got things on the books, which I am happy for as we move into April, where things do seem to be picking up. But it has been slow. There has been some major projects that we did have scheduled and have in line, but due to cutting of certain funds and grants that would have been helping to fund these projects that I would have been a part of, they've been not canceled but delayed. But whether if it's canceled or delayed, the bills don't stop because of that, obviously. But this is also something my friends have discussed as well. I've been talking with my friends, and they're feeling the impact, and where we're really feeling the impact is in the camera rental business and the rental houses. And it sort of highlights, just what we see in this article that News Shooter released. Shout out to Matthew Allard, who wrote the article. So I'll just go cut to it. It says Industry Cameras, which is the name of the rental house, is closing down, and they're now, as of today, they are auctioning off $7.4 million worth of Pro AV gear. So if this is gear that you guys are interested in or maybe interested in, I'll just go ahead and show that first to you guys. I mean, they're selling 7 Sony businesses, 2 ARRI Alexa Minis, 2 ARRI Alexa Mini LFs. They're selling an Amira. They're selling an F3, an F55, a slew of lenses, Angenu, Summilux, Canon Cine, Cooks. These are all things that they're auctioning off, including tripods, heads, monitors, media, filters, different powers, all this stuff they're auctioning off. And again, the auction is taking place today. So if this is gear, I would definitely say see what you can learn. I'll leave a link to the article so you can find where to check out the auction. They're going to be auctioning things off for today and tomorrow, I believe. So let's look at the article. It says the Mark Ritchie, who is the founder and the owner of Industry Cameras, wrote the following. Dear friends and colleagues, after 2 decades of serving the film and television community, I have made the bittersweet decision to close Industry Camera. The journey has been nothing short of incredible, and I'm deeply grateful for the friendship, collaborations, and experience we've shared along the way. For my love of filmmaking has never been stronger, and as I step into the next chapter, I'm excited to focus my energy on what I enjoy the most, directing and producing. While this marks the end of an era, it's also the beginning of another, and I look forward to continuing to create and collaborate in new ways. To my amazing staff, your passion and dedication have been backbone of industry cameras. None of this would have been possible without your steadfast commitment, and I'm profoundly thankful for everything you've contributed. Above all, I want to express my sincere appreciation to everyone who supported industry cameras for years. It has been an absolute honor to be a part of your creative journey, and I look forward to crossing paths again as we continue to push boundaries of storytelling together. This is not goodbye, it's simply see you soon. Yeah, and this is something that I've seen at other rental houses, especially even here in the tri-state area, that are struggling. A lot of the larger rental houses, they tend to be having struggles to get things by. So many of y'all are probably just asking a question: why are these camera and rental houses struggling? Well, we can probably see this answer in this other article that I have found that basically talks about, well, a lot of the movie studios are moving their productions outside of the United States. And one of the big benefactors of countries that are beginning this is the UK. So this is an article, as I'll cut here, to the wrap, and you'll see here it says 10 years after Star Wars, the UK is winning as Hollywood's global production hub. You obviously have to be a subscriber to it, but the gist of it is that a lot of these studios, after the writers and the actor strike, and then the potential threat of the Teamster strike, after all that was settled and they basically got their contract signed out, a lot of these studios began to start moving their countries abroad because it was cheaper to get films done in the UK and all these other countries than it is to film in the United States. It's not just a labor portion that seems the problem, it's also taxes. The tax credits and the incentives to do productions in the UK as well as other countries abroad it's much more enticing and much more favorable to these studios than it is here in the United States. Right now, the governor of California is trying to put out tax incentives. I was just at a conference for media makers where at the Paramount studio in the Paramount building in New York City. And they were talking about how they're really trying to talk to the mayor of New York and as well as the governor, trying to get more tax incentives to bring more of these things back. It's creating a lot of uncertainty and a lot of doubt, and that's making a lot of these studios nervous. And so to just save themselves energy, time, as well as save them money, they're looking to take their stuff elsewhere. So to put it in perspective, me and my business partner have a friend that has worked on some Star Wars shows, and he told us they've moved all the current Star Wars content that they have in production, they've moved it over to the UK. And none of the Star Wars stuff is being produced right now in the United States. This obviously is a snowball effect. So because all those productions are moving abroad, camera rental houses are not being able to have enough demand to keep things afloat, so things start slowing down. This means less access and stuff. We got inflation stable right now. There's concerns about that going up from a financial standpoint. And again, it's just in terms of overall markets, they're based on what we have right now with the current United States administration, and as well as how the world is responding to these different things. A lot of people just don't want, a lot of these companies just don't want to deal with all this extra stuff and just want to take it somewhere where it's not as volatile. There's a lot of people who work unions on these sets. They're not getting the jobs that they want. And it makes it harder for non-unions to get on jobs because for a lot of states, you have to fill out the union. You have enough people that's union to get on before you can start bringing non-union people in, or you really, really have to have a pull of influence to do that, which makes the barrier of entry for new people who may try to want to get into this business a lot harder, at least with the traditional aspect of this business in the higher industry. This leads to me to how do I see things going forth? Is it all just doom and gloom? I don't believe so. I believe there is new opportunities, but just not as much. I think the decisions that I have made personally, which is to really create a small, compact, travel-ready, small crew setup, be ready to go, is going to be the best. Crews are getting smaller, budgets getting taller, and this is something that's not just hearing me. This is a lot of people are saying. A lot of gaffers that are both on YouTube as well as I know personally are all saying the same thing. Budgets are getting tighter, crews are getting smaller, the time frames is getting tighter. So it's really about being able to be efficient. So how do we navigate this? The way I feel like we should do it is that you getting the gear that you can be the most efficient. So for me, having something like the Sony FX3, you don't have to go with this specific camera, this could be anything, but something like the FX3, which is really nimble and can go with so many, that can work in so many different environments, and being able to is great. Being able to have my own set of lights, portable microphones and stuff where I can set up shots very easily if it's just by myself, or if it is I'm with a small crew. The setup is very easy. It's not as time consuming. This will be the beneficial because this is going to have our clients a lot more happy because they don't have to spend as much and it doesn't take as much time with us. There's going to be trade-offs about that. The other thing I'm going to say is just finding alternatives in this business that you didn't really think about exploring, that you may want to, or something that you may have had a passion about, but you haven't really forced it too much because you had your main line of work. I would say go look at alternatives. So in my case personally, I'm also doing some freelance color grading, which is very simple and easy for me, and it's easy to get a steady amount of money where I can bring in something relatively simple and easy. It works and I can get something done quickly. So that's how I've been using it, as well as my main line of work. I've also looked at doing some other aspects. Like I said, I still do weddings because and I'm able to bring a whole bunch of high quality gear that can give me the quality that I would need, and hand that off to them without too much of an issue. The last thing I will say is just constantly just go out there and get yourself out there and make yourself known. Get that real update, continue to go show force, look around where you're at and see what is sort of not really being looked at that you can probably take an opportunity from. For example, in my area, I'm starting to see a lot of people from the journalists, media background that are sort of leaving the corporate area and sort of going more independent. They want to there's certain stories they want to tackle. And for me, this is a good way for me to navigate it and sort of get myself in there, while also providing opportunities for me to continue to stay afloat and bring incomes for both myself and for my business. This is just a time frame that we just gotta be prepared to adapt. Those that are going to be able to adapt are going to be able to survive, because this is going to be rough and it's not going to end anytime soon. This is something that's going to probably take years to sort of balance itself out and to where things are in a more economically positive outlook. But I would love to know from you guys. I would know how you guys are feeling. What is your thoughts on how the direction is going? And what are you guys are doing to sort of adapt to the current situation? I would love to know. Leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.